You know, Big B's unprofessionalism last week was just totally unacceptable.
Yeah, I mean, I worked to get that interview for us. Our first special guests.
I know. And what does he do? He doesn't even bother to show up. And look at him. Comes in here whistling like nothing's wrong. What do you have to be happy about? You got nerves.
Sit down.
Sit down!
Problem?
There's a big problem. I mean, for the first time on this show, the doctor here gets a special guest for the show. They're all in studio, on time, but guess what? No Big B. Where were you?
I was,
What are you, Elmer Fudd?
It doesn't matter where you were.
That's right, it doesn't matter. What does matter is your behavior was unprofessional.
Unacceptable.
Unapproved.
I understand my behavior was definitely unprofessional and unacceptable, and I totally agree with you, and I really apologize.
There's no apology here. There's no excuse here. And for your actions, you shall be punished.
All right. What do you suggest?
What I am suggesting, since we had backyard wrestling on last week, it's going to be you and the doctor in the backyard.
I'm totally cool with that.
Right now?
Right now? What do you think? Tomorrow? Of course, right now.
Let's go.
Help me.
See, doctor, I always get the last laugh.
You sure about that?
I'm talking about.
What the hell? What the hell was that for?
You see, Big B? Postmaster and the doctor always get the last laugh. Next time, show up for the interview and do your job. And you'll learn, and this won't happen again. Jerk.
And welcome everyone to another exciting edition of Triple Threat Talk. And I think it's a little unprofessional for us to wear some hats. So
Yeah, you never see me wearing a hat. Why are you guys wearing hats?
Well, we want to see if they notice anything different.
Okay.
Ready?
Good.
Hey, y'all!
What the hell did you do?
Well, you know, got a little creative, I guess.
I like creativity.
Kind of looks like Matt Hasselbeck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, slightly.
Oh,
But
we got
anyway.
some stuff to talk about today, as usual.
Of course, topics we have today are the U.S. Open,
Yeah.
Peyton Manning, the start of college football and the NFL season, and of course, as always, we will discuss the world of professional wrestling.
But of course, as always, we will kick the show off with our favorite,
Oh, of course.
the viewer question.
All right.
Woo!
Epic, epic. So let's start it right off here with Against All Odds 20.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for that question. Do you think it's wrong that WWE doesn't want guys like Samoa Joe and Kevin Steen, or Big B here,
Oh!
because of their weight? The new Sin Cara is using Kabiut.
That's a separate question.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
That was your fault! But anyway, what do you think?
You know what? I kind of don't even agree with that question because I mean we see plenty of big guys in the WWE.
Yeah.
We got Mark Henry, we got the Big Show. I mean Kane's taller, but he's a little bit on the heavier side.
Yeah, but relating the question to Samoa Joe, there's been rumors that once his contract in TNA ends, he will be probably in WWE. And Steve Austin really wants him. He's really pushing to get him. So.
Steve Austin wants him
I don't
bad.
think the WWE doesn't want these people. It's just, you know, you can only get so many big guys.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
All right. So sorry for the mix-up there. The second question from Against All Odds 20. The new Sin Cara is using
Hayabusa.
thank you, old combo for his finisher. Do you guys think it's wrong that they are not saying it was his on TV because of WWE's thing about asking the original who did it?
I hate to, you know, show kind of a little bit of ineptitude towards a viewer, but I mean, I gotta say that I don't really agree with the premise of that question either because, you know, professional wrestling, you've had moments.
Yeah, it's happened before.
Right, and it's not just synonymous with the WWE. I clearly remember a tag team in the WCW. I think it was one of the Ravens flock. They ripped off, or two of the Ravens flock. They ripped off LOD's finishing move.
Right.
I mean, It happens, you know.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter who
I'm
did
sure.
it first.
I'm sure. Looking back in the history of professional wrestling, I'm sure Steve Austin was the first person to do a stunner.
Yeah, I mean,
look at how many different people do the rock bottom.
Yeah,
there's several people that there's only so many high impact moves to do.
Right, absolutely.
And like, there's so few people to do it. So,
I mean, sometimes people come along and perfect it. Like, for example, people have done the corkscrew moonsault millions of times, but John Morrison perfects it by doing a springboard. So he took it, but he made it his own.
Right, and then I don't think anybody could hit a high impact suplex like Mr. Perfect with a perfect place.
Right, absolutely. So,
I mean, I keep it coming against all odds, but I mean, I think those two questions were a little bit loaded. I think so.
JB11 2011. Who do you think has produced the most heat ever in WWE?
I think that's a damn good question.
I like the question.
I think it's a good question. It's a fair question. Who do you guys think?
Wow. Looking back on people that have gotten the most heat in WWE, I would say probably a guy who I think, I mean, obviously the times were tough to put someone like that in the company, but I think Muhammad Hassan got the most heat because of what happened, obviously, with 9/11. Obviously, it was a touchy subject, but he got so much heat from the fans because he was just supposed to be the ultimate bad guy. And I kind of liked it that they put him in matches against The Undertaker to kind of build his character up. So he definitely, in my opinion, got the most heat, but again, as the times were, it was kind of hard to have his character get over at all.
Right. So. I'm going to say I think the Iron Sheik, because if you watch some of the old, you know, back in the day videos that the WWE puts out, they said there were several times they feared for his life because of what was going on.
Right.
So I'm going to say the Iron Sheik, I think.
I'm going to say any WWE diva.
What?
And hear me out here. I mean, come on. When a WWE diva minus Karma or, you know, Gail Kim or somebody like that enters the arena, don't we all usually get a little hot around the collar when Maurice walks down the aisle? So, to go a little lighthearted on the subject, I'm going to say the WWE Divas produced the most heat.
That's what he meant.
That's funny.
So, I guess this question would probably be more for you two than me.
Right.
Are you going to watch SMS final event, Bitch-A-Mania?
I definitely want to look forward to checking it out. I admit I haven't been watching their stuff recently, but obviously they are one of the better CAW leagues out there, as we were.
Hey, we're the best.
We are.
It's no laughing matter. The DWA rules.
But I love SMF. I obviously respect what Bob Ross does. And I know his name is Bob Ross, but I do know Josh. You know, I do respect his work, and I definitely look forward to checking on his final CPV. Should be great. I know he does a really great job on it, and I know he has wanted to end it for some time, so I know he's going to put his work, his heart and soul into this final show, and I definitely look forward to checking it out.
Yeah, we'll check it out. I mean, you know, anytime you put anything out there to like kind of end a show, you know, like with Lost or anything, really, you know,
it's good to check out. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, from our
now
favorite
we move on
viewer,
to Undead Warrior 75.
our favorite viewer, and we always thank you for the many questions that you leave us. They're greatly appreciated. This first question is for Big B and Big B alone.
Just me?
Just you, Big
Just
B.
me. All right.
Why does Big B love Batman?
Okay, first of all, I've said countless times, Batman is epic. Okay? But the reason I think Batman is epic is because he's not your traditional superhero. I can't believe I'm talking about superhero on a wrestling talk show. Right? Batman is not your superhero, okay? Like, example, the Doctor could go out tomorrow, train his ass off in martial arts, and get all types of gadgets and a costume, and he is Batman. That's what I love about Batman. He seems like an everyday guy, and I'm not going to lie. When I read the comic when I was younger and his parents died, I cried. I felt for the guy because he was so young. He didn't know what to do in that situation, so you were kind of behind him from the beginning. And then this guy is a normal guy, and anybody can be Batman. So that's what makes him so awesome, and I just love the characters in the comic book, too, so that's why I just love Batman. The whole universe just is good for me.
I mean, I'm halfway there already. I drive the Batmobile.
Oh,
already,
of course.
So
just put the costume on.
There we go.
Put the costume on, get some gadgets, you're good to go.
Epic. The PostMaster Batman.
All right. See you next week, right?
Right, absolutely.
All right.
So, do you think Kurt Angle should come back to the WWE for a match against The Undertaker at WrestleMania? Doc?
I don't think that'd be a good idea. I just think that Kurt Angle's taken so much heat lately that I just don't think it'd be good for the WWE's image to have anything to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to Kurt Angle a little later on, but I don't know. It just seems like Kurt Angle come back to face the Undertaker at WrestleMania. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it'd be a good match because I do agree that Kurt Angle is probably the best technical wrestler out there just because of his Olympic background. But the heat that he has from the company when he left and the kind of troubles he's gotten into recently, again, we'll discuss that a little later on. I still think WWE would take him back at this point in time. So
I agree. I don't think that would be a good match. I mean, yes. I mean, maybe it could be a good match, but I don't think that's a WrestleMania quality type match. So I would use that for if he did come back, maybe another pay-per-view event, but definitely not WrestleMania.
Right.
So the Doc question: who do you think deserves to be in the Hall of Fame?
I think Demolition needs to be in the Hall of Fame. I think that they were pretty good. They have a few people they fought are already in the Hall of Fame, like the LOD. But I also, they put Shawn Michaels in there, obviously. I think Kevin Nash should be in
Well,
there.
I think if Nash goes in, he might go in with NWO type of thing.
Right. But I definitely think that, Nash, and even though he's fallen into a little disrepair, I think Scott Hall with him is like the NWO.
Scott Hall, obviously, if you've seen
well, I know that they're looking for ways to get him on TV.
But he's in such bad physical shape.
He's in bad shape, but eventually, I think.
One person I like to see in the Hall of Fame, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen, is Owen Hart because his widow has expressed they're not going to do it. They have to get consent from her first. Mm-hmm. But I think eventually she might let him in the Hall of Fame because I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Someone that I think also deserves to be in the Hall of Fame is the Macho Man Randy Savage. Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate that his untimely death is probably going to get him in there. He should have been a long time ago. And I think that's going to come up probably this WrestleMania 28 in Miami. He might be in the Hall of Fame. I think it's overdue, and I think they need to do it. They should have done it a long time ago. But definitely Macho Man's on top of my list.
I'm going with Andre the Giant.
You think he's already in there?
I don't think he is.
I'm pretty sure he is.
I don't think he is.
Well, I'll double check that, but I think he is.
Well, if he's not, I would go with Andre the Giant. If he is in there, however...
Somebody answer the Triple Threat Talk phone!
Somebody's calling the hotline. If he is in there, which, like I said...
Hold my calls!
I could be mistaken. He may be in there. Probably, that's a toughie. But because there's so many great wrestlers that are in there already.
And the thing about the Hall of Fame is you don't know what classifies a Hall of Famer today.
Right,
because
absolutely.
people like Drew Carey are in there, and
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Drew Carey and Mr. Baseball. I can't remember his name.
I know not to expect CeeLo Green in their Hall of Fame anytime soon.
But actually Jim Duggan is in there, and some people might agree with it, some people might not. But Pete Rose is in there, so they have a celebrity wing for people to be in the Hall of Fame as well. So.
Right.
Yeah. All right, so. Undead Warrior seems to think that Johnny Morrison is a mix of Jeff Hardy and Shawn Michaels. What do you think?
I kind of see it a little bit. I kind of do see it a little bit. He's definitely got the high flying maneuvers that both the Hardys and HBK did possess. He's kind of got that, that charismatic, Adonis kind of style that. When HBK first came out back in his prime, was synonymous with him. Mm-hmm. I kind of see it.
The thing is, honestly, I think Jeff Hardy is overrated, to be honest with you. I think when he won the championship, it obviously didn't go as well as I hoped. I do like Jeff Hardy as a tag team, but to break him out as a singles and be the world champion, I don't know, they kind of maybe did it too early or something. I just don't, because Jeff Hardy's, off the camera thing kind of precede his on camera work.
Right, absolutely. I totally agree with that.
The thing about John Morrison is, I like John Morrison. Obviously, we both know John Morrison. I don't think he has the same charisma as Michaels has. Obviously, nobody probably ever will. But I think the thing about Morrison is he needs more charisma because I've heard Morrison on the mic. He doesn't really grab me in as Michaels does, or CM Punk, or Chris Jericho, or The Rock. He needs to grab me in.
You got to put him in, and I'll say one more thing to that. You got to put it in like a timeline perspective. Where was Shawn Michaels at the current point in John Morrison's career?
Right.
Just rewind it a little bit.
Right.
I think you're about right there.
Right, and I think athletically gifted, Morrison's at the top.
Oh, yeah.
By far, but he needs to. I think they need to put him in a good feud with somebody and have him get on the mic and start talking trash to somebody and build his charisma up, and then he'll be up there.
Right. I think he is more towards Shawn Michaels and Jeff Hardy. He is like Jeff Hardy in some ways with his high-flying maneuvers, but from a charisma standpoint, he is like Shawn Michaels. So if I had to say he was one more than the other. I think he's more of a Shawn Michaels type character than a Jeff Hardy type character. In this next question, we kind of changed it up just a bit. But if you were making a pay-per-view or a wrestling show, and you could have any wrestler, dead or alive, on that card, who would it be and why?
We obviously can't do 10 because that's that would be 30 matches. Yeah. I do have a couple off the top of my head. To go with the giant killer thing that they do for Rey Mysterio, I know you don't like him, but I do like Ray. I think I'd like to see Rey Mysterio and Andre the Giant.
Wow.
I think that would be pretty cool. I think I would definitely... They did a match with Crush and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I'm sorry, Smash from Demolition and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. A few years ago, they feuded a lot. I think I would like to see Smash versus Shawn Michaels, a similar kind of style with that. Okay. And I think for my third one, I would really, really enjoy the Legion of Doom versus Crime Time. I think that would be a great match. Okay.
As for me, top of my list, it always will be because I just want to see this match. And again, I don't know if it'll happen or not. Shawn Michaels versus The Rock. Mm-hmm. I want to see that happen because it's obviously two of the most prolific guys in wrestling, and they should face each other. Epic. I actually like to see Randy's, taken from the game WWE All-Stars, they put a lot of good matchups in there that make you intrigued. I like to see Randy Savage versus John Morrison.
I can see that.
I just love to see that match. It just screams like, make me watch this now. I could not turn my TV off for that. And another one I like to see, again, WWE All-Stars makes matches like, if you saw this match, you'd freak out. I actually like to see Sheamus versus the Ultimate Warrior.
That'd be good.
Those are awesome matches. And then I'll throw one more match in there because sometimes it's talked about. Even though Shawn Michaels is retired, he said, and I quote, ... he said that if he came out of retirement, he'd wrestle one match and gets one man only, and that'd be Sting. Because he feels that Sting is another guy from his era that was just as big as he was that he never got to face in the ring. So, again, for me, Shawn Michaels versus Sting would be a hell of a match.
I think top of my list would definitely be Stone Cold versus CM Punk. Ooh. I think that would be an excellent match. You kind of got the Hellraiser and the Rule Bender from now.
That's also in WWE All-Stars.
Yeah, that's also in WWE All-Stars. Another one would have to be Sting versus Undertaker. I think
almost happened in 27.
Almost happened. I think that would be a good match. Another match I would like to see that involves Sting. I would like to see Sting take on Triple H. I think Sting versus Triple H would be a very good match.
Can we just give a quick little out here? Y'all talking about WWE All-Stars? Let's make the games like the SmackDown versus Raws, please. Let's get away from the goofy controls and all that stuff.
Well, not to go off
goofy arcade stuff.
Well, the thing is, I enjoy the gameplay of All-Stars a lot. That's just me. So,
the game is very interesting and it's different.
Yeah. It's very entertaining.
Right. So the last viewer question of the evening. Wait a minute. I'm trying to read the previous question again. Who needs a heel or face turn?
Wow. Well, I tell you what. I thought this would be a difficult question, but doing this on the fly, I think you need to put The Miz at a face turn. He's doing he's done a lot of stuff with...
really?
Yeah, like those...
Really?
He's done a lot of stuff with the talkaboutit.org kind of... People see these things. It's not like it's not out there. He's making appearances... that little kid that he was with on YouTube, being friendly and all that stuff. I think The Miz, I think they're kind of maybe building towards that.
I can see that. I actually would like to see Daniel Bryan go heel. Because as a face, Daniel Bryan, he's boring. Yeah. He's a hell of a wrestler. One of the best they have right now. But, he's boring. He isn't doing, he has no charisma whatsoever. None. He has as much charisma as this pen. None. Okay?
Absolutely.
So I think if they made him heel, it give him maybe the kind of charisma he needs to get over with the fans. Because his moves in the ring get him over, but his charisma gets him nowhere.
I agree. I think a person kind of outside the wrestling, actual wrestler, but as far as within the company, that has never really been a heel, but it would be interesting to hear him try to pull off heel commentary. I think Jim Ross as a heel commentator would be interesting. I mean, he's always been the face guy.
I'm not to bring up a point. I remember when Jim Ross was kind of a heel with, I remember Dr. Death Steve Williams as his manager. That was pretty cool.
Right, absolutely. I think that would be cool to hear,
Like, shut up, Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, Jerry Lawler, shut your mouth.
Michael Cole, shut up over there.
Michael Cole, you're epic. I told him to you, Michael Cole.
Insult my barbecue sauce again, you little punk.
Yeah, so, but as far as wrestlers go, I think a heel turn definitely needs to be in the cards for John Cena.
I just don't think it's possible.
I know you don't think it's possible, but I just think to revamp his character, and it's going to sound weird what I'm about to say, but if you turn him heel, they're going to start liking him again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get the fan base back, and he can eventually go back to being a face again, but I think he needs to be at push on a heel before he can go further with, being a face.
Yep.
So that's all the viewer questions for this week. And once again, against all odds, JB and
Undead Warrior, of course.
We thank you all for the questions. We appreciate it. Keep them up. We gladly will research. We talk about your answers and questions. And with that being said,
now we move to the bulletin board.
Bulletin board.
As you can see, there are 5 topics up here.
5, like Booker T. 5 time. 5.
Well, no, 6 time anyway.
Yeah.
That's first topic up on there is the U.S. Open.
Golf?
No, tennis.
Oh, tennis. Oh. Okay.
Now, one thing I know you're going to get into when I mention in a second, actually today the U.S. Open was canceled due to rain.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything else here lately.
But a few notable things here. Federer's through. The top-ranked American Marty Fish is out thanks to Joe Wilfred's Song of the Frenchman. Donald Young, another American, is still alive. Andy Roddick is still alive on that side. And Serena Williams on the women's side is just dominating everybody, so she looks like the favorite in the women's side. And another person I want to mention, I know you're going to bring it up, the number 2 seed, Rafael Nadal, is still in the tournament, but he had a little bit of a problem the other day, didn't he?
He had some problems. I saw the press conference. You guys know that I'm not a big tennis fan, but in the middle of the press conference, he started kind of cramping up a little bit. Definitely some skin.
Yeah, it was what they reported. It was muscle cramps, and according to Andy Roddick, who was press conference later, he said, "Guys, that happens all the time. Playing a match like that, your leg's gonna cramp up."
Right.
He said it's just unfortunate it had to happen in front of you guys, but he says it does happen to everybody. So
yeah, it definitely does, and it was a scary moment for the people that didn't know what was going on, and in cases like that, it was described like, and I think it was actually Federer that come out and said it's like sometimes you get muscle spasms so bad and you tighten up so bad you feel like you're dying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how crazy it can be.
But yeah, going forward, it looks like, if Federer can beat Tsonga, he'll most likely play Djokovic in the semifinals, rematch of the French Open semifinal. Right now, I don't think anyone can stop Serena Williams on the women's side. She's playing lights out tennis. She looks like she's going to play Caroline Wozniacki in the next round, so that should be an interesting match. And going forward, it seems like the U.S. Open's really getting down to the top elite players over there. So that's pretty much it for the U.S. Open.
Should be good. Now we'll move on to another topic.
It got good, it got bad, it got better, it got worse.
Peyton Manning, guys, doesn't look good.
No,
it doesn't look good at all. He's definitely not playing Game 1.
I don't know if he's going to play Game 2, 3, or 4.
I don't know
when
when
he's going to play Game 8.
Now, I want a lot of people to understand something. I'm a Colts fan. I have several good friends that are Colts fans. I know there's a lot of Colts fans in the state of Kentucky where we're from, and there's a lot of Colts fans, period. And when you say Peyton Manning's not playing, it's automatically, oh God, end of the world, blah, we're going 0-16. No. Calm down. I realize nobody is as good as Peyton Manning.
Absolutely.
Peyton Manning is the field sheriff. Without Peyton Manning, the Colts go from a Super Bowl contender to a playoff pretender. Mm-hmm. That is
absolutely.
That is fact. And Curtis Painter, terrible. Kerry Collins, he's doable. If Peyton's only out, 2-4 games,
they might split it 2-2 or 1-3.
I can deal with Kerry Collins because Kerry Collins, although he's not, that great, he's better than a lot of the quarterbacks in the NFL now,
right.
And he's a lot better than Curtis Painter.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So I'm not like siren tornado warning, that worried yet. I'm worried for Peyton's health more than I'm worried about my team. Because with him hurt, he is our team. He's the leader. Right. He's the captain.
He's what makes you guys intimidating.
Absolutely. And to throw an interesting stat out to you guys, a couple I heard today. First thing, this weekend, Vegas, obviously puts out the odds for each game, and we'll get to those in a bit. But the Colts, believe it or not, were a 1-point road favorite at Houston. And with the word of Peyton Manning not playing, they went from being a 1-point favorite to a 9-point underdog.
Wow. 10-point swing.
So a 10-point swing because of one player. And another interesting stat regarding Peyton Manning, they said today, the Houston Texans had a 36% chance of winning the AFC South. And if things stand the way they stand now, the Houston Texans have a 68%
makes our pick right.
of winning the AFC South. So that just goes to show you how important Peyton Manning can be to the Colts. I guess we'll keep tuned in to see his progress, how long he's going to be out. But I definitely see him sitting out Game 1. I'm not so sure about Game 2. And even if he's ready for Game 3, I don't see the Colts bringing him back to play the Steelers' defense his first game back.
I'll get knocked back out.
You guys don't need him to beat the Browns anyways, so it doesn't matter. A lot of people say that that they're a 3-13 team without him.
I agree with that.
I disagree with that. I think they're 7-9 because there's definitely some winnable games on there. I think you beat Tennessee both times. You beat the Browns. And then you pick up a win or two every other time.
We'll get to that when we talk about football, but I was going to say maybe they split with Jacksonville with the departure of David Garrett. I don't like their chances.
Yeah, I mean, news out today, breaking news, the Jacksonville Jaguars come to terms with releasing David Garrett. And, guys, I don't know about you all, but it's less than a week before kickoff for the Jags
and
the Titans, and you kick out your starting QB for Luke McCown?
Really?
Really?
Doesn't make too much sense.
I don't get it. Like, I'm a Jaguars fan, and I don't understand why you wait till not even a week, like a few days, less than a week before you start the NFL season, and you get rid of your main quarterback. Why?
Stupid.
So now you have Luke McCown, who's not very good.
No.
So I see now, when Jacksonville plays, who are they playing week 1? Tennessee?
Tennessee.
I see them running Jones Drew like 30 to 40 times because he is their offense now.
I mean, yeah. And if you remember in the football special, I clearly stated that the Jags aren't going to be able to make it the whole year on Jones Drew's legs.
I agree.
So this is already going to be a kick in the butt for Jacksonville. And I mean, who's backing up Luke McCown? Do we even know?
No idea.
I don't even know.
Yeah, Mark Brunell should come back.
That'd be epic, right? Mark Brunell. Maybe they get Jeff George out of retirement.
Maybe they get...
you know what? Maybe they could go to Arizona and get Kevin Cobb.
Yeah, the Arizona. All right. So now we move on to our next topic. The start of college football and what a start it was, everybody.
Yeah, what a start it was.
My pick for the national championship, they're kind of in trouble. They got beat by LSU 40-27.
They played... The Oregon Ducks is who Big B picked. They played absolutely atrocious. Their quarterback definitely thought that he was little Peyton Manning on the field. He kept audibling. What he didn't realize is that Peyton Manning is probably the best quarterback at throwing an audible.
Right.
So, he kept changing up every single play. I don't get it.
I mean, I didn't get it either. I mean, he played subpar at best. And 2 top 5 teams clashing prime time, first weekend of college football, and you show up like that.
That was just terrible.
That was definitely not good.
I think the bigger question here is the overrating of the Pac-10. I think what you see with Oregon and USC escaping defeat from Minnesota by the tip of their tongues. I think the Pac-10 is trying to get a little bit overrated. I know that what the BCS are trying to get at least 1 or 2 people within reason from each of the major conferences ranked in the top 25.
Right.
I think you got to call it where you see it. I don't even think Oregon was even supposed to be in the top 25. They looked horrible.
They didn't prove why they deserved to be in the top 5.
They didn't. I mean, LSU just was toying with them.
But I am happy that when I used to live in Florida, I was not a Gators fan. I was a Seminoles fan. What am I doing this for?
Why are you doing that?
Well, fail. I was a Seminoles fan down there, so I'm glad they're number 5 ranked in the BCS now. So go Seminoles.
But on another bad note, yet again, the boys of South Bend proved why they're overrated.
Poor Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
They weren't really fighting, were they?
No.
They weren't.
Well, they were fighting the thunderstorms. That's
they
what
were
they
fighting
were
for their lives.
Yeah, they never had to evacuate South Bend, but
so did West Virginia. West Virginia did also.
And Western Michigan and Michigan, which actually was called in the third quarter.
Yeah.
They called that game official.
So weather kind of took its toll this week.
It did. It delayed the NASCAR race to Tuesday. It was supposed to run Sunday night, and it got...
Mother Nature doesn't like sports, does she?
Apparently so. But there was some bright spots to the opening weekend of college football. Our local teams, be it not very pretty.
No, they won.
They won. U of L and UK both started off with a win.
Bueno. How long that lasts.
I think another kind of... I don't know if it's a bright spot or not. Depends on how you look at it. Auburn almost lost to Utah.
That game was phenomenal.
That was good.
I watched
that
game.
That was a good game.
Another game I was going to mention, Baylor beating TCU also.
Baylor beating TCU.
That game was crazy. There was no defense in that game whatsoever.
I think the brightest star of them all, though, was definitely Boise State's Kellen Moore.
Absolutely.
Just phenomenal. Picking apart the Georgia Bulldogs defense. They tried to run it against their defense. Kept on trying to push into the Boise State line to get to Kellen Moore. Yeah. Kellen Moore just picks you apart. He stretches out your secondary, and he just destroys you.
I think what Boise State needs to prove is if they want to be considered a national championship favorite, they need to beat these tougher teams because they really have a tough schedule.
And they basically beat Georgia at home.
Yeah, so that's a good win.
They beat Georgia at home, and it's just I don't see any. They've done it for the last 3 years. The BCS has thrown and kept both Boise State and TCU out of the title picture. With TCU falling to Baylor, I definitely think I backed the right horse, and I think that Boise State is going to do. I don't see how the BCS can keep them out anymore. I'm still saying a toss-up between Alabama and TCU to take down the national championship.
And
not TCU, Boise State.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
One thing we could say to come out of that Georgia-Boise State game, I think if Under Armour was smart, they could have named it the Under Armour Uniform Bowl.
Yeah, really.
Because those uniforms that Georgia had on were crazy.
I like the Georgia uniforms.
And the Boise State uniforms were pretty... awesome looking. But I'll tell you some uniforms that weren't so great.
Boy.
Maryland.
The Maryland Terps, now all great.
Maryland Turtles.
They won last night, defeating Miami.
I think they lost because Miami lost because of those uniforms.
Could be. They come out of the field and was like, holy cow, intimidation at its finest. But definitely the bright spot would have to be Boise State. Proved their mettle by going into SEC country and defeating the Georgia Bulldogs.
Mm-hmm.
Some more, decent games coming up this weekend.
For sure.
So college football is alive and ready and rolling.
But you know what's alive and ready this week? NFL football.
Are you ready for some pro football? Thursday night, 8:30.
Starts tomorrow. Tomorrow it'll start.
Tomorrow. It does start tomorrow. The defending Super Bowl champion Green Bay Packers against Drew Brees and the high-octane New Orleans Saints.
And they play at Green Bay. So that's...
At Green Bay. So, with that being said, we got all 16 games lined up. I'm going to just reel them off here one after the other. You tell me who you think's going to win.
Okay.
We'll go through here just real quick. You don't have to give me an explanation. And, we'll see how we do. We'll keep you all up to date.
Yeah.
So, we'll start with the Doc here. Doc, Green Bay and New Orleans, who you got?
I think I got Green Bay.
I got to go with the Pack.
He's going with the Pack. I'm going with New Orleans Saints.
All right.
Steelers and Ravens.
I'm going to say the Ravens.
Ravens all the way.
I'm taking the Steelers.
Fail.
I know! The Colts and Texans.
Texans.
I'm taking the Texans,
There you
too. Falcons and Bears.
Ooh.
That one's kind of tough, but I think I'm going to have to take Atlanta.
Atlanta. Buffalo at KC.
That's another tough one, but I'm thinking we have to take Kansas City.
Kansas City for me, too. Tennessee at Jacksonville.
I don't even know about this one. I think it's going to be the battle of the dull here.
Final score 3-0.
I think I'm going to have to take
Get me choked up just
I'm
thinking
going to
about
have to
it.
take Jacksonville.
I'm going to go with the Titans.
Touchdown, Titans!
All right.
The battle of the...
Who cares?
Who gives a crap? The Bengals and the Browns.
I think I'm going to have to take the Browns on this
I'm
one.
going to go with the Browns.
I'll go with the Brownies as well. How about the Philadelphia Eagles against the St. Louis Rams?
I'm going to take the Eagles.
Eagles all the way.
I'm going to go Eagles too. How about Detroit and Tampa Bay? That should be a very good game.
That should be. That might be the
That might
best
be the
game
pick'em game of the week.
No, Green Bay, New Orleans probably.
Well, I mean, a game you wouldn't expect.
That's
Right.
the kickoff.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think I might have to take Tampa Bay.
Lions.
I'm going Tampa Bay.
Fail.
The
I still do think Detroit makes the playoffs.
Yeah.
though.
Vikings and Chargers.
God.
Chargers.
Chargers.
Chargers, and more Chargers.
If for those of you who have fantasy football teams, even if you have the Chargers on your bench, start them.
Abso-freaking-lutely. How about the New York Football Giants against the Washington Redskins?
I'm going to have to say the Giants.
Giants. Definitely. Oh, God. Do we even want to know? Carolina at Arizona.
Arizona's going to destroy them.
Arizona
In a wash. What could be the game of the week for you two guys? This definitely will be.
We are going to kick your beep.
So I guess we know who he's picking. What the game obviously is. San Francisco and Seattle.
I'm going San Francisco. I think they can pull it off. It's at Candlestick Park.
I'm going to have to go with the Seahawks.
Well, since
PostMaster?
San Francisco's your team, Seattle's your team. I'm in the middle.
He says tie.
I say tie. I'm not no. Candlestick Park, early season, new QB. I'm gonna go with Jim Harbaugh and the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, Dallas Cowboys. How about them Cowboys?
How about her?
Against the New York Jets.
This is a tough one.
I don't know what Dallas team is going to show up. That's why it's tough.
That's the whole thing. You don't know which Tony Romo's ever going to show up. You don't know which defense is going to show up.
Exactly.
I mean, the wide receivers have
Both teams are that way right now.
Right,
Absolutely.
right. The receivers definitely show up all the time for Dallas, but
We do have other
I'm not
games
gonna-
to pick. Just saying.
I'm going to have to go with the Jets.
I think that Plexico Burst plays a huge difference in this game. I got to go with the Jets.
I'm going to go with the Jets.
Jets. Love that chant.
Abso-freaking-lutely. So the first Monday Night Football game of the season, the
New England
prolific
Patriots.
powerhouse known as the New England Patriots versus the Fish Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins, number one.
I think I'm going to have to go with New England. Part of me, I will say though, the part of me nagging at my soul is like, no, you idiot, go with Miami.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go with New England.
Upset special. I say Dolphins.
Upset City, huh?
Yeah.
I think he's out of his freaking mind.
Come on.
Patriots in a walkover.
Walkover.
And what is the last game of the first week, which could be very well past my bedtime, and beyond that, it might not be much of a game anyway. The Oakland Raiders against the Denver Broncos. Which, by the way, we did talk about in the football special.
Yeah, there was a viewer that said we didn't.
Watch the whole video.
I don't think they're going to win a whole lot of games between them. I think this is easily, obviously somebody's got to win this one. I think the Raiders pull this one off.
The Raiders.
I go with the Raiders too.
I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos.
Alright, that's it for football week 1.
Football week 1, it's
Yeah.
going to be excellent.
And next week we'll cover week 2 and see how we did with week 1.
So let me ask you guys real quick before we move on here. What stands out to you all, or what are you all looking for coming out of week 1?
I can give you 2 responses. I'm going to do college, I'm going to do pro. I think college, what we learned was...
But we're not talking about college, but okay, go ahead.
I think you said week 1. You said week 1. It's not
Yeah,
fair.
this is week 2 of college football, week 1 of NFL.
I think
Turn your hearing aid
I
up.
think what we're going to see...
Hey?
is some coverage off special plays, because there was definitely a lot of trick plays in college, especially the Auburn onside kick that ended the game and saved Auburn's skin.
Mm-hmm.
In week 1, I think what you're going to see is a lot of plain football. You're going to see football. I think it's going to be scientific, because people aren't going to try to get too risky, because free agency this year was unlike anything we've seen before.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to try to feel out their teams and just play scientific football.
I think the one thing I'm looking forward to is some team going to overtime so I can understand the new rules.
Absolutely. And
another thing you're going to see differently is, especially for the game with Chicago, Devin Hester, you're probably not going to see a lot of them because they moved the kickoff, so there's probably not going to be a lot of kickoffs this time.
That's definitely going to make things interesting. I realize why they did it. It was for the standpoint of, to cut down on injuries.
Right.
Which, hey, I applaud the NFL for safety. I think that's a great idea. One quick note on our projections. Picks for the week 9 of the 16 games, we had a unanimous pick. So, as usual, we're either going to be really good or really bad.
Right.
But with that being said, guys, I'm excited. I'm ready. NFL's here. One thing I will say that I heard Trent Dilfer say today on the Colin Cowherd show, he said he thinks that the first couple games of the regular season may feel more like a couple games like in the preseason. Now, I see where he's coming from. I get his point, because he's saying, these teams still technically haven't had a lot of time to practice.
Yeah.
They're still filling out new players. But I'm going to have to disagree, because it's the regular season.
Yeah.
These games matter. So you can't tell me that, for instance, Green Bay is going to say, well, if we lose to the Saints, it's no big deal. You want to win every game.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I guarantee you, when tomorrow night when the Saints play the Packers, it's going to be primetime football. Lights are on. They're ready to go.
And I think also the big difference, of course, is the roster's got to be finalized. So
yeah,
over under 80 points on that game tomorrow night.
I like it.
Over under.
I think it's going to be under.
I say under.
I think it's going to be around 80, maybe more. You got...
I think no defense?
Well,
I like the Packs defense.
Well, the Packs defense is really good, but it is the opening game. Both teams are going to be juiced up. Both teams have a high-octane, prolific offensive set.
Both teams have a really good defense.
I'm looking for a shootout. I think we're going to see a shootout.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Okay.
But, so moving on from there, guys, a little wrestling action.
Again, we covered SmackDown last week because SmackDown was live, and so we'll cover SmackDown next show. Raw this week was interesting, to say the very least. Had Del Rio going around trying to recruit people to help him out.
Yeah, first of all, if you didn't see the news, reason Del Rio wasn't on the show last week, he had a trouble with his traveling visa. He was stuck.
Happening a lot this year.
Mm-hmm.
I know, right? And he was stuck in Mexico, so that's why you didn't see him on the show. Because I had questioned Big B, why in the heck is the WWE champion not on Raw?
And another thing that was kind of confusing me, but I guess it makes sense now. Everyone was wondering, who sent the text to Triple H to take out CM Punk at SummerSlam? Well, it was apparently Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash sent the text to Kevin Nash.
Yeah, so apparently Triple H fired him, and now the match between CM Punk and Triple H United Champions is no disqualification.
And that's fine. And also the stipulation that if CM Punk wins...
I like this. I like it a lot.
Then Triple H must step down at COO.
That's an intriguing match.
I don't like it.
No.
I don't like that stipulation.
So
I'll tell you
do you
why.
think that means that Triple H is going to win?
Yes, that seals CM Punk's fate right there.
I don't know what they're going to do with that. It's interesting to see. I think it seems like John Laurinaitis, as they've been writing,
the strings,
he's trying to pull I think he's trying to...
Do you have laryngitis?
No.
Okay.
I think he's trying to pull the strings a little bit from behind the scenes, so maybe...
He's already pulling Kevin Nash's
right.
strings.
So maybe he's got some stuff going on, and maybe he's going to help out CM Punk.
I see maybe possibly Kevin Nash getting involved.
I see definitely somehow CM Punk winning this match. Maybe even Kevin Nash helps him because of the whole Laurinaitis thing.
I guarantee Nash gets involved.
It's going to be an interesting match. I think this one could go both ways. I don't think it's as dumb a deal as PostMaster says.
And then at the end of the night, the main event was Del Rio sending his people out there to attack John Cena, including Christian, Wade Barrett, and Dolph Ziggler and
Jack Swagger?
Jack
Really?
Swagger.
I don't get it.
So then Teddy Long comes out, says, "Hold on, there, players." So he turns it into a fatal four-way. John Cena,
Fatal
Alex,
four-way. You mean...
4-on-4 tag,
4-on-4
whatever.
tag elimination.
John Cena teams with John Morrison, Alex Riley, and Sheamus
The fella!
to take on Wade Barrett, Dolph Ziggler, Christian, and Jack Swagger.
I don't get it.
So the final two are John Cena and Jack Swagger.
So,
Shocking.
shocking. John Cena wins.
So it seems like, and then WO got in the ring, and
I'm so shocked that John Cena won the main event.
I know.
You want to know something
shocked.
from Raw that was epic last night?
WO.
No.
Hmm.
Zack Ryder won a match on Monday Night Raw.
He had his own video package.
He had his own video package, and he teamed with Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, WWE put a package together for like a minute and a half to prove to you why Zack Ryder is epic.
Zack Ryder is definitely epic. And if you don't believe he's epic, go to youtube.com
/Long Island IC.
Long Island IC.
Check out his show, yeah. For sure.
He's definitely epic. And I mean, he teamed up with Jerry Lawler to take on
David Otunga and Joe Henning. Michael McGillicuddy, sorry.
Yeah. And they won. Big surprise.
Zack Ryder won, epic.
Yeah, Zack Ryder won on Raw, which was very interesting. We did find out that Beth Phoenix is the #1 contender for the WWE Divas title.
And again, she's facing her like she did at SummerSlam. And you and me thought that Beth Phoenix should have won that match.
Absolutely.
So I do see when Night of Champions is finalized the next week when we do the show, I do feel that we're both probably going to pick Beth Phoenix.
And a thing that was like, what the was that? Was it me or did it look like that The Miz had his flannel pajamas on last night?
I think Miz was going to... I mean, I'm not going to lie. I thought the tie was nice, but the suit was all wrong.
The suit, I don't know what he was doing.
Well, this is not a fashion show. So
no.
Not turned into that.
No, absolutely not.
I did want to say something. Me and you talked about this in the car when we were out getting some stuff for the show. We did talk about SmackDown for a private conversation here. I want to put you in with this conversation. We were thinking, like with people being so up and over on Raw, like John Cena right now, CM Punk, and Alberto Del Rio. Those are the top three, right?
Right, absolutely.
Okay?
I agree.
Well, what we said was on SmackDown, and I'm gonna give you some scenarios here, and you tell me at the end if you think I'm right. Big B seemed to kind of be on this train. All right, so Daniel Bryan wins Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
Wade Barrett beats Daniel Bryan. All right, Christian and Randy Orton been going head to head and winning and losing back and forth to each other. And Mark Henry and Sheamus have been doing pretty much the same thing, beating the hell out of each other. With all that being said, I told Big B I think the storyline for SmackDown is trying to equal out all the competitors. What do you think about that? I think they're just trying to. When you see two people in the ring, you're going to think 50-50.
Yeah, I can see that. I agree with that. I think the problem with SmackDown is they're not giving certain wrestlers on the show a push that they should. Like Wade Barrett, like Cody Rhodes. I mean, they're starting...
He's getting a push.
I mean, he is because he's the Intercontinental, but you know what I mean. There's certain guys that, should be spotlighted more that's not.
Right.
I mean, same goes for Raw, and I realize it's a big roster. And I love the move by WWE making every Monday a super show. I hope that's a permanent thing. And with this news coming out yesterday, which was freaking epically epic, that WWE Network starts next year, and I cannot wait for that.
It's going to be awesome.
And it's going to be interesting to see the SmackDown, NXT, and Superstars go in there.
I mean, this is obviously a fresh thing. There's not many details on what the contents of WWE Network are.
I'm almost willing to bet that Raw will stay on USA
but
Network.
in the next coming weeks and closer to the date it premieres, obviously you're going to find out a lot of information.
And Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I think what they're probably going to do is scrap 24/7, scrap on demand, because the WWE right now, they've got all sorts of programming for that people have seen over and over, and you can't really charge for that. You can't really. I think they're going to put, like old matches, even old Nitros, old Raws, old ECWs and stuff on this network, and just. Maybe I'd like to see it played sequentially, especially some of the big things. I would love to see the NWO thing. Years later, looking back at it, how cool that was. Yeah. I'd love to see it from day one till the end. I would love to see that, and I think that that might be where they go. And then on the pay-per-views, you start adding them maybe 4 or 5 months after they happen, after all the DVDs and everything have been bought and purchased. I think you start doing.
Yeah, I do think possibly NXT and Superstars probably will be on the network.
Right.
And I think a lot of the problem, like you said, with the 24/7 is you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like $10-12 extra on your cable bill. And I'm hoping this WWE Network is just an added bonus.
I would like that, yeah.
For people, I don't know about you, but I know me, we have 800 and something channels. I'm hoping it would be a part of those channels. You don't have to pay another fee because, like the doctor said, I would love to see, past pay-per-views. Maybe even have a WrestleMania month where they show every WrestleMania in order for a month straight.
Yeah.
I think the month of WrestleMania, that would be a perfect.
That'd be pretty cool.
Like the month before leading up, be start with WrestleMania 1 all the way to WrestleMania 27.
Yeah.
I think that would be a phenomenal.
Or 28 at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
but I'm definitely looking forward to what they bring with that next year.
And one thing to mention about Raw that I was going to mention, and then he brought this interesting topic up, was we also found out that Air Boom, which, if you don't know who that is, Kofi Kingston and Evan Bourne.
Stupid name.
That is a retarded name.
Stupid.
I don't know why they let him go with
Sonic
that.
Boom.
But they're going to face Little
Awesome Truth.
Little Jimmy and The Miz.
Awesome Truth.
Absolutely. I like it.
I do like it.
For the WWE Tag Team
And
titles.
of course, they're trying to build towards Night of Champions. And again, not everyone has a match. Dolph Ziggler doesn't have a match. He's going to. Cody Rhodes doesn't have a match. He's going to. So once that is finalized, hopefully in the next week, that way we can go over the card.
Right, absolutely. So I think that, it's interesting to see how Night of Champions is going to be. Because is it me, guys, or does it seem like SummerSlam was God ago?
Yeah.
It does.
I mean, it seems like SummerSlam was so long ago.
I mean, I don't mean to complain because last year I definitely thought some of the pay-per-views were smushed together, but this year so far it seems like it's been 4 or 5 weeks between each one.
I know sometimes, you would think you're you get a break, but these long breaks in between pay-per-views, it's
yeah,
good Lord, when was SummerSlam again?
We're forgetting what happens here, guys. Come on.
But I think that pretty much covers wrestling this week. One other kid that I do want to throw out, thoughts and prayers to Santino Marella.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys saw that. He was involved in a pretty horrific-looking car crash.
Yeah.
He came out of it pretty well unscathed for the most part.
Yeah, thank God he's all right.
But if you haven't seen the pictures, go online. I think
just Google Santino.
Google Santino Marella and
car
accident, and look at the pictures. For those of you that have a weak stomach, you might not want to check it out.
Hopefully, makes a full recovery for sure.
Right, absolutely. So thoughts and prayers with Santino Marella. And with that,
oh boy.
I think we come to a segment that we've kind of dropped off the last couple weeks because we've had so much to talk about with the introduction of football. But
right.
Guys, I think this week we know who to crown our Idiot of the Week.
Drum roll, please.
Kurt Angle.
Oh boy, Kurt.
I guess
Two things I want to mention about Kurt Angle, okay? First of all, he says he wants to train again to be in the Olympics this year. No.
Don't do it.
No,
Don't do that.
No, okay? First of all, you failed the drug test anyway.
Right,
okay?
absolutely.
So, and that being said, he's 50?
He's up
right.
there.
The reason he is Idiot of the Week, okay? Not because he got a DUI. It's not it, okay? People get DUIs all the time, and they're idiots, but they don't deserve to be called out on, okay? The reason...
Actually, they do deserve to be called
out. Oh, we know what I
mean.
mean. But the reason he's an Idiot of the Week this week, this is his third year in a row. Third year in a row he's gotten a DUI. Kurt, wake up!
You know what?
You're going to kill somebody, dude.
Yeah.
He's consistent.
Yeah, he's
going for a record.
He's going for the record, but I read that TNA's not very happy. I think they should fire him for his actions.
I think he should be fired.
I think Kurt Angle needs to readjust his life. I think he needs to think about what he's done with this obviously recent DUI charge. I mean, obviously he lost his wife to Jeff Jarrett, and I think she left him for a good reason. I think he's a moron.
I think he's a freaking idiot, and that's why Kurt Angle is
the
Idiot of the Week. And with that being said, I think the doctor here got a little new segment he wants to add in.
We're going to do wild card.
Oh, okay.
Real quick. What we're going to do here is we're going to take just a second, not a lot of time, maybe talk about something that we didn't cover in the show, but each of us kind of wants to talk about, and there are going to be some weeks where we're not going to have maybe even this segment. We're going to do it when we have time for it. But if you don't have something to talk about, we're going to add it to each other.
Okay.
And somebody want to start it off, or y'all want me to?
I'll start it off. Last night with the U.S. Open, the women's match, Caroline Wozniacki and Kuznetsova match went a little later. It went to almost midnight. It went about 11:51 when Federer and his opponent Juan Monaco got on the court. I turned it on, watching it on and off, and I turned it back on, and like 1:30, already over. Already over. Federer whipped his ass, okay? 6-2, 6-1, 6-0, okay? And I'm not going to lie, that's intimidation to me, okay? So...
You got a pretty good, he had a pretty good tennis stroke going on there, didn't he?
That's a beatdown, for sure.
Absolutely.
So, again, he did lose the song at Wimbledon, but the way Federer was playing last night, he was playing lights out tennis.
I think something I want to talk about is the SEC in football this week. I definitely think this particular college year, I think they've lost it as the mighty SEC. I'm a huge SEC fan, and I do see an SEC team winning. Like I said, I think Alabama's going to take it. Well, come on, Auburn, wake up. You can't just go from national championships to almost losing to Utah State. That was an amazing onside kick that you did. For those of you who did not see it, you have got to YouTube onside kick, Auburn against Utah State. It was just absolutely phenomenal. That saved them. Had it not been for that, I think Auburn would have been greatly embarrassed. Auburn's got to pick it up because I'm going to say it again. They are nobody without Cam Newton.
No, absolutely not.
My wild card topic of the week, Jeff Gordon.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Hats off to you, my friend. Today you won the rain delayed, well, I should say yesterday, you won the rain delayed Advocare 500, becoming the third all-time winningest driver in NASCAR history.
How about Jeff Gordon?
85 wins, 4 championships.
Praise it!
And 3 wins this year on a roll. Will he be the one to finally knock off Jimmy Johnson?
His own teammate.
His own teammate who's won 5 championships in a row. All you can do is tip your hat to Jeff Gordon and the performance he's done. I mean, I saw him debut back in early 90s in the Baby Ruth car. He's a little 5'0". Looks like he belongs in the Kentucky Derby rather than the Daytona 500 to now. So I've seen him evolve from then to now. Jeff Gordon, congratulations, buddy. The all-time active win in NASCAR right now, and third all-time, only behind David Pearson with 105. Could he catch David Pearson? He could. No way he's catching Richard Petty. 200 wins.
He's not going to catch the king.
Unless he drops it like he's 50.
Absolutely. And one quick thing I want to say. I had a viewer ask me today, if Jimmy Johnson wins the Sprint Cup Championship again this year, that would be 6 in a row. Does that make him one of the greatest athletes of all time? My answer to that is yes. And I know a lot of people say NASCAR drivers aren't athletes.
Oh, they are.
Bull crap.
Well, I agree with you. I agree with you in the aspect of not that people say NASCAR drivers are athletes, because I consider them athletes in some, and in their own right. But I think someone dominating and winning their respective championships 6 years running is something to be looked at.
I mean, because, I'm sorry, but if you strapped into the car, or you strapped into the car, you drove 500 miles, those guys lose on average on a hot summer day. Those guys can lose up to 30 pounds in just those few hours. Mm-hmm. So, if you don't think that takes fitness and finesse, you're wrong. So you people that say NASCAR drivers and jockeys and golfers, all because John Daly's a fat slob that smokes and drinks beer.
He lost weight.
He's still an athlete.
He's still an athlete. Yeah.
So, with that being said, that's my wild card rant for the week, and I think that wraps it up for the show.
As always, everybody, you can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/triplethreattalk. You can follow us on Twitter at triplethreattalk. You can send us any comment or question you have at triplethreattalk@yahoo.com. And guys, please vote for me on the tester. You can go to casting.the-tester/hurricane. I'm on page 2 currently right now. I think I still am. Please vote for me, guys. It'd be awesome if I can get on the tester. And once again, guys, please visit talkaboutit.org.
Absolutely.
It is a great organization, guys. So for Big B,
this is Postmaster Jones.
And the doctor.
See ya.
Thanks for watching, guys.